But doesn't this just let bad behavior go unchecked?
I hear that a lot. No, and here's why. Again, those behaviors are coming from feelings, and those feelings are usually driven by something that has nothing to do with the behavior. And so it's not allowing bad behaviors to go unchecked. It's finding out what's causing the feelings that drive the behavior. So in other words, as Jane likes to put up the iceberg, right? There's the tip of the iceberg, and this is the behavior. We're digging all the way down under the surface of the water down here to find out what is it down here that we need to solve. And then those behaviors go away completely. If we, in my opinion, because I've had it happen, and it may be different for different coaches, if I go after a behavior or punish a child for a behavior, those behaviors actually worsen or continue. But if I take the moment and it's not leaving a behavior unchecked, it's solving the problem. I guess, it'd be like lighting your house on fire because you have spiders.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you just go find the spider nest? Think about the solutions to the problems here. The behaviors are just a symptom of the problem. So let's fix the actual problem. And then you're not leaving behaviors unchecked. And here's the thing, all the other kids are watching at all times. The greatest observers on the planet are children. Like, they are sponges. They see everything, they hear everything, they understand everything. You think they're not looking or listening, and they are. So when you're able to help one child solve a problem and remove the issues that cause behaviors, the other kids see it. You've empowered them, sometimes on their own, to do it, but you're also showing them that you as a coach will help them too.
Yeah.
And that but when you give all the attention to a bad behavior, you're telling those other kids, you want attention, then misbehave. And so now the behavior becomes contagious to the other kids.
Yeah. It's so, I think, what would I like to touch on with that? There's 2 points that I'd like to touch on with that. One of them is allowing the children the time with their emotions. And if they say they've got it, let them get it, because that's strengthening their personal ownership over their behavior, over their environment. It's empowering them to be in all situations. And sometimes people want to rush in and they want to stop it, or they want to make it go away, or they want to make it better. So that's one side of it. And then the other side is a kid's acting out, you're fully engaged in positive discipline, but there's someone over there who isn't, and they're standing there going, why aren't they doing that? Why are they dealing with that kid? Hey! I've heard people hollering on sidelines, all sorts of things. And it's that other person, the kind of stress of the other person going, why aren't they doing anything? In the back of your head going, I know I'm not doing anything because this.
Yes.
I think it's sometimes in coaching structures, if the whole team isn't on board, there can be misunderstandings or pressures in there. Have you had any experience of anything like that?
Yes, and I was going to say that those are brilliant observations. And that second one is really impactful, because that tells us as coaches, we've got to collaborate with parents, and we've got to collaborate with the children, right? If we're not from day one telling our parents, this is how practices will look, this is how I'll handle behaviors, these are the interactions you'll see. So when you see this, please know it's being addressed, but it's being addressed in a more positive way that we are hoping causes long-term benefits for everyone. Then the parents, just like you're giving the kid time, the parents are patient. But if you don't tell the parents from day, and it doesn't even have to do with that, if you don't tell the parents we're not punting this season, and then you never punt, you're going to have 10 parents on the sidelines going, why won't they let Johnny punt? He's the greatest punter on the planet. He can punt the length of the field. It's the same thing. If you're not telling them, this is how I'm managing the behaviors, we as a team are going to handle things this way, they'll question it. Same with the kids, right? If you don't from day one set standards, it's not rules, it's standards. These are the standards as a team we are going to hold each other to. And here's the best part. And age, again, maybe the really, really young ones, but for most of them, age does not matter. I've done it. And I've seen coaches do it with as young as 6, 7, 8 years old. Let them be involved in setting the team standards. Let them decide what the team values are. Let them decide what the what the consequences would be if things happen. Let them decide how things will be handled. Like if you ask the team to give you examples, team value statement, right? Everybody in the team comes up with the values, and then as a team you write them all down, and then you sign the values as a team. You've just created a contract, and those kids love bragging about, oh, I've got a contract with my coach, and then they uphold them. And now what you do is, when you're doing something, the kid says, why are you doing that, coach? Remember, we signed a contract at the beginning of the season. This is what you agreed to. This is what you wanted. I'm just there to help you live out that contract.
Yeah.
It like puts all the accountability back on them. But again, you don't have to stress over the fact that, are the other kids seeing this and thinking Johnny's getting away with this? Because they know we agreed to at the beginning of the season, we as a team would handle things this way. Then when they see you do it, they may say something. You may say, remember, we agreed this is how we were going to handle things. So yeah, I've come across it, and it's dicey waters depending on whether you're willing in the beginning to let them have some power and say over the standards, and then whether you're willing to even take the time to say, let's draw up some standards and let's have this conversation, kids.
Yeah, absolutely. And then have the time to share it with the wider community, the family, even if, for example, if you're in a swimming pool, the lifeguards.
Yes.
What's
yes.
going on?
Yeah, they need to know that. I work with U.S. Sailing, and there are certain people that need to know what they're doing because they're on the water. So they should probably tell the dockmaster, and you should probably tell. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're correct.